In this video, our learning goal is going to be able to understand and calculate the gradient. So what is actually the gradient? What do we know by the gradient? You've seen signs around roads. This is a simplified version that look like this. And what this means is that the road you're about to either go up or down in your drive up or down in your car has a gradient of 10%. Now that means 10 over 100 if we write it as a fraction. And it means for every 10 meters that you go up vertically, that road goes across 100 meters. That's simply what those signs mean. Now, in mathematics, finding the gradient, there's a couple of ways we can do it. Okay, but before we look at those ways, those methods, we need to understand that if a line from left to right points up, the gradient is positive. And if we look from left to right, if the line slopes down, the gradient is negative. My maths teacher in year 9 used to tell us that if you put a person on the end of the line, the left of the line, would they walk up a hill? If they walked up, it was positive, or would they slide down the hill, and if they slid down, it was negative? Thanks, Miss Gibson, for that. So the two formulas you can use for the gradient are, one formula is rise over run, and you would have seen that in year 8. And another formula looks like this. We've got y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And there's another video, there's another video on YouTube. If you want to see how that works and why that works, I've done that separately. Let's look at some examples. So example 1 says find the gradient joining these points 1, 3 and 5, 11. Step 1, draw a diagram. So 1, 3 is there, 5, 11 is here. And the diagram is important for the first method because it tells us whether the line has a positive gradient or a negative gradient. So the gradient of this line, yes, it's sloping up, positive. If we want to use the formula rise over run, we know that our gradient's positive. We need to create a right-angled triangle with those 2 points. And we find the rise, whoops, that should be 1, 3, and we go from the point 3 on the y-axis up to the point 11. So we find the distance between 3 and 11, and that is correct. It's 8. And similarly, the run, we go from point 1, x is 1, to x is 5. So that run is going to be 4. So we've got positive 8 over 4, and you always have to simplify your answers. And we get 2. Let's look at how we do it if we use the formula. Now the formula is really good for more complicated questions, especially those complex problem-solving questions. You actually don't need to draw the diagram, though sometimes it's good to get an idea of where things lie. This is my first point, 1, 3. So I label, this is my x1, this is my first y. This is my second point. So I label that 5 is my second x coordinate, the 11 is my second y. I write the formula down. You don't need to worry about whether the gradient is positive or negative here because the formula will work it out for you. And we've got 11 minus 3 over 5 minus 1. And then just straightforward simplify. And what we see is we get exactly the same answer. Which one's better? Both are just the same, except this works better with harder questions. And generally questions where you have to work backwards. Let's look at another example. Okay, just had a bit of a glitch there. Let's look at another example. Now, you might want to pause here and try it yourself, but I'm just going to go straight in and do it. So I've got I'm going to draw a picture. And I've got -1, 3 and 1, -1. So I noticed here my line is sloping down, the gradient's negative. My rise, I'm going from the y value 3 to the y value -1. That distance there is 4. And my run, I'm going from -1 to 1. My run is equal to 2. If you want to draw a bigger diagram, because that helps, go for it. So rise over run, I know my gradient is negative, 4 over 2, and this time I get -2. Let's look at it using the formula. -1, 3, and 1, -1. Label your points. That's my first x value, that's my first y value. This is my second x, this is my second y. As with everything, write the formula. Substitute in. And you've got to be careful with this formula if you've got negative coordinates that you substitute in correctly. So this is x2 minus x1, and look at that, x1's negative. So you just really have to be careful. 2 negatives make a positive. -4 over 2 equals -2. When you do these questions, you can just do them one method and the choice is yours. A question won't ask you to use a particular method. Thank you.